getting ready to buck up the pine that came down last year. I'm going to be using that for the evaporator when we make maple syrup this year. I always wear my personal protective equipment. If I can avoid cutting a leg or something, why not, right? So I've got my chaps, I've got my eye protection, I've got my Keen work boots. Those have a steel toe, which helps. And also my ear protection. This is the type that I use. I like these because they have a little handle, and it's that squishy cushion material. You can roll it up in your fingers. You can get it set in your ear nicely. And then, of course, when I'm using the splitter anyway, I'll have a set of the ear muffs on as well. I don't use them with my helmet because at one point or another they must have broken off. Cleaning up this pine so it's going to be easy to move around later on. Once I get it all cleaned up, hopefully I can be able to roll it up the hill without too much fuss. This is the way I measure my round lengths for my wood stove. Keep it about 18 inches, pinky to thumb, then thumb to pinky. I got my MS361. She's been running really well lately. It's not modified or anything. It's pre-EPA. Really good saw. Starts easy, runs consistently. Easy to work with too. It's one of their, their probably entry-level pro saws. Again, this is pre-EPA, so it doesn't have any of the newfangled carburetor stuff that all the new chainsaws have. So I've been using this preferred chainsaw sharpener, and this has been working out really well. It's got the file in the middle to get your rakers as you're filing your gullet and whatnot, but I use a different method now, freestyle. I'll show you guys that in another video. Sharpener works really well. I've got a link in the description like everything else in here. Makes it easy. Like they say, when you've got a sharp chain, it makes using the saw really a pleasure. When it's dull, it's such a pain in the butt and definitely a lot more dangerous than it needs to be. This whole log is on an incline, and you can see I've got my wedges I'm working with. What I should have done was cut some room so I could open these up and not have the butt ends pressing against each other. It was really a pain separating these. Had to use my peavey. But now it's a matter of rolling these bad boys up the hill and getting them up into the wagon. This is where the steel toe on my shoes come in handy. As they roll backwards, I can put my toe into there and not worry about getting pinched. Up onto the wagon. And wound up doing about 14 of these rounds. Got gassed out a couple of times, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I should have been using my pulp hooks right here. I don't know why I wasn't, but taking it low and slow. I don't do anything too quick. I don't really need to tweak a back or anything at this stage in the game. I'd rather get her done than get it done fast and tweak something. This wagon has seen a lot of use. I've had some really huge rounds on this. The bed's starting to rust out, so I may have to put down some plywood or get some sheet metal scraps that I have, just weld them up and do some patchwork on it. But it's a great wagon. This hookaroon's really been coming in handy. It takes away a lot of the wear and tear, leaning over, prevents you from nipping your fingers when you're working around a lot of these rounds that are pressed up against each other. When these rounds are wet on the edges, you see it was rolling that way. It's really a pain. You've got to put them flat side up. But when they're dry, you can usually roll them right up the ramp and it grips and you have no trouble at all. So these rounds were split, or actually bucked up the other day. It's all cleared out except for one more piece that I've got to cut. And then I've got another huge piece behind there. Probably get another 8 rounds this size. These are waterlogged right now, so they're pretty heavy. But once they split, I'll get them into the rack for the evaporator. Next year, the stuff's going to be nice and dry. It's going to be beautiful to work with. Perfect shape and size. Fit right in that evaporator box. 3 more to go. Got to roll those bad boys from down below. We'll be ready to split. Speaking of tools and equipment, just the last couple of years I started wearing these Duluth Trading Post canvas fabric pants. You know, they're double layered right by the knees and up the thighs. They've been working out really well. I was blasting through a lot of jeans when I was splitting wood because I wind up leaning into it a lot and wind up tearing up jeans. But these pants have held up pretty well. I've got holes in one of the pockets. That's like the weak spot. But other than that, I throw these on and they've been doing a really good job. So if you don't use pants that are specifically made for wear and tear, check them out. It's well worth the $40 or so that you have to pay for them because it'll prevent you from destroying a lot of pair of pants. At this point, I've got all the rounds up. I've got one more wagon load to go, and then I can get to splitting. All right, I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm gonna back this bad boy up just using the selfie stick. See what happens. I'll try and do it on 1 take. I won't pull a YouTube smoothie and do 5 takes and then show you the best one. All right, there was one. Everything's opposite. All right, ready to unload. Easy peasy. All right, got our splits up from where that pine was down below. Still got another piece that's about the same size. I think it's a little bit thinner because it was the leader or one of the top branches that came off. So we've got 14 of these rounds, which are gonna get split, and we're gonna put them in there. You saw one of my earlier videos when I first did the maple syrup this year. So we have our evaporator wood. It's gonna get split up in the right size, so I'm not dilly-dallying too much with wood when we're boiling next year. And yeah, we'll be good to go. I think with this much wood split and what I have left down there, we'll have more than enough. Yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.